A very good morning to you. Now, I'm calling out to all the knitters out there. Is that you? Or have you thought to yourself, I'd love to learn to knit, but I just don't know where to start, whether it be a scarf, whether it be a jacket, whether it be a bag, or whether it be a pair of socks. All the trend at the moment, knitted socks, and they don't half keep you warm, they really do. Well, I'd like to introduce you to a brand new supplier to us here at Hochanda. It's Addi, a German brand, very well known for their high quality. And I'd like to introduce you the same high quality guest. We've got the lovely Marie. Hello, Marie.
Hi, lovely to be here.
It's great to meet you, and it's lovely to have you here in the studio. A brand new supplier to us here at Addi. Here to Hochanda. Addi is the supplier. Oh my goodness. Now we've got lots for you on the show, and we'll be taking you through the demonstrations and explanations of how to use the needles, some of them patented as well. But you can jump ahead of yourself and you can head to the website, because the website is where you can go to see all the products that we've got on the show, including, oh my goodness, the Express knitting machine. Now, even if you've never knitted before in your life, you will be able to take this. You've got the book included as well. It's a very competitive price for this. It's available on FlexiBuy, but you will be able to start knitting instantly. It really is amazing. Do go and check that out, and it is available on FlexiBuy. Lots of projects in the books as well to get you up and running. So maybe you've got dexterity problems, maybe you've retired your needles, but you want to get back into knitting. Maybe that Express machine is just for you. Now, Marie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Addi as well?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I'm the sales and marketing manager for Addi in the UK, along with Manos Del Uruguay yarns, which I'll be obviously demonstrating for you today. So I learnt to knit as a child. My mother taught me, and I had two friends that lived in the same street as me, and all of our mums taught us how to knit. And it was great. We used to go around to each other's houses. We used to knit little baby clothes, cuddly toys. Really enjoyed it. And we used to, you know, all together, sat round, chatting away, proud of everything we made. And so I've knitted for many years, but I do have to say that I kind of lost interest. Maybe through my teens, it became a little bit less fashionable for me. And then it's only recently, in the last sort of 5 or 10 years, that I've suddenly really got into my knitting again.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Absolutely love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of young people are getting into knitting now, because some people, like you say, Marie, associate knitting with maybe your mums or your grands, and maybe indeed you're learning how to knit from them as well. But it's very, very on trend at the moment. And when we're talking about on trend, let's talk about knitted socks. We were chatting before the show about how woolen socks keep your feet nice and warm, but they're just a luxury item to have. And what we've got here is a special deal for you. You've got your Sock Wonder needle. Now, this is a 2.5mm knitting needle. One side is longer than the other. Marie is going to talk us all through this if you are brand new to this style of knitting. But we're not stopping there, because we do understand that you'd like to knit something. So you've got a choice of yarn, and there's a choice of 3 colourways for you. The first option is your Fondo del Mar, which is a beautiful, gorgeous seascape style colours in there. And the yarn, it's very special. We'll chat with Marie about this in a moment's time, but it's hand painted by ladies in Uruguay. So we'll have a chat about that. The next option is Happy. This is a beautiful colourway. You've got some pinks in there, blues in there, you've got some yellows in there, like a variegated style. Absolutely beautiful. Your next one is your Blueberry. Beautiful deep blue colour there, absolutely love that. And it's full ply yarn, so it's perfect for your sock making. Now, Marie, can we talk about this yarn, because this is very special, but also it's very special to you, isn't it?
Yes, it really is special to me, because it has such a lovely story about it. And that's basically because Manos Del Uruguay is a fair trade organisation that supports women who live in Uruguay in the rural communities. They've been around for around 50 years, and basically how it works is that the women who hand dye all this gorgeous yarn that you see before you, they are able to work in their local cooperatives, dyeing all this yarn. And at the same time, that enables them to raise their families, raise their children and support their families generally, rather than having to go out into the cities to work. So it just gives them a real pride in what they do. They're able to do it locally, and they just do it so well. They are highly skilled artisans. And I'm just so excited really to tell you about how beautiful the colours are that they produce, and how gorgeous they are when they knit up, especially into a lovely warm pair of socks, which, as you said, you know, we just all love a warm pair of socks.
Yeah, we certainly do. What's lovely about this is that you're helping women in another community by buying today. So it's a lovely thought that you're doing something very, very special and supporting people around the world. But look at these socks, they're absolutely gorgeous. £23.75. 892175 is your item number. We will be having a demonstration with these needles because they're very special needles to buy. Already selling actually before the hour. Now we've got some more yarn for you. You've got 3 choices here. Oh my goodness. Let's have a go at pronouncing these, shall we? The first one, I think it's your Huarache.
Huarache,
thank you. Huarache, which is perfect. Gorgeous colours. The next one, Manglar.
Manglar.
Thank you very much. Oh, this is great. And the next one, Aguayo.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Marie. It's great. You're learning every day, aren't you? And that's what learning a new craft is all about as well. So beautiful colours. You choose. £17.49. They are 75% superwash merino and 25%
polyamide.
Polyamide. There you go, which is...
it's an nylon, basically,
yeah,
so it gives you the strength that you need in your socks.
Yeah, good for washing as well.
Yeah.
Good for washing. There you go, polyamide. There you go. We're getting very busy for these now, so do make your options and check out your basket. It's a good idea to do that. 575161 is your item number. Now, we do have some other items. You've already found these. We're having a busy show. These are your bamboo knitting needles. And this has got painted technology, and you need less needles to knit in the round. All will become clear if you're thinking, what do you mean knit in the round? Is that some kind of organisation where we get together, have a cup of tea and we sit in the round? No, it's about knitting in the round. £15.99, 0825 540 is your item number for that. We've also got a smaller set of double pointed needles. These are 21 centimetres, double pointed knitting needles, a 2.5 in size. Again, patented technology, £13.99. And you've got the double pointed needles on there. But let's ask Marie about these double pointed needles. For anyone that's perhaps watching and they might want to get into knitting, could we just explain to people what the double pointed needles are all about?
Sure, yeah. So traditionally, and you know, many of you who've knitted socks or garments in the round in the past, you will have used 4 or 5 double pointed needles that are normally straight and rigid and made of aluminium or bamboo or other materials like wood. But these ones are very different because they're flexible, basically, in the middle. And you only have 3. So basically, they're a lot more comfortable to use. Do you want me to talk about them now and how to use them, or would you like me to?
Yeah, we'll revisit those. I just wanted people to know that they're actually a set of 3, which is brilliant. So that's a good reference to those. But we're going to have a look at the sock wonder because we're starting to get very busy for this now, Marie. So shall we have a look at the sock wonder?
Yeah, of course. So the sock wonder is basically, it's a circular sock knitting needle. It is 25 centimetres in length. Which is just less than 10 inches, so that's slightly larger than some of the other 9-inch circular needles you might be familiar with for sock knitting. And I think that's great because it just gives you that little bit extra room, really, when you're moving your stitches around the needle. And these are great. I really like these in particular because I have quite small hands, so they're really comfortable for knitting with. They come with 2 points, as I've said, joined by this flexible cord. Now, this longer point is the one that you knit with. So being right-handed, I would hold that in my right hand. And the fact that it's longer just makes it more comfortable, really, to knit with. It sits comfortably like that in your hand, really. So, and as you can see, it's flexible like you go. So I've brought some to demonstrate with a pair of socks that I've already started knitting. Got my little stitch marker there, so I don't lose the start of my row. And basically, they're just really easy to use. So I might lose my ball of wool here, so I will try not to.
Is that the Happy yarn you're using there?
So yeah, yes. So this one's Happy, and it's what's called a speckle hand-dyed yarn, and you can kind of see as you look at it, it's predominantly one colour, which is like a natural white here, and then these speckles are actually created through the hand-dyeing process. It's just speckles of, we've got a bit of orange, a bit of pink and green and blue, and it creates this beautiful kind of these splashes of colour in the garment that you knit. So again, I really like these speckled eyes. I think they're just so pretty.
I think they'd be great for babies' clothes as well. You know, that speckle, it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing. The Sock Wonder is not just for knitting socks. As you've rightly said, you know, it's perfect for any item where you're knitting in the round and it has a small diameter. So it could be sleeves, for instance, or cuffs or mittens. Perfect. Yeah, so, I mean, I can demonstrate a little bit how this works. I find that I just knit really quickly with these needles, because the yarn, again, because this is super soft, this yarn, it's so beautifully soft, you wouldn't believe it. It just flies on your needles, really. But it's as simple as that. You just knit in the round, keep going round, and then you'll see when you come to the end of your row. What I also wanted to point out is that it's perfectly seamless. So your sock, if you see, this is the start of my row. So even though I'm going from one stitch to the other, and this is the joy about just using one needle, you don't get any laddering at all here in the garment. So it's perfect. It's just so neat, and it produces such lovely little neat stitches. So I have knitted many a sock on these needles.
You are speedy, Marie.
This is actually quite slow for me. Probably.
Could you knock up me a pair of socks whilst we do the show?
Say,
I get bad circulation. My feet always get cold. So to be able to knit some beautiful woolen socks, because they can be very expensive to buy.
They can indeed, you know, and as I say, we're using this beautiful sock yarn. It's 75% superwash merino with the 25% nylon or polyamide, if you want the fancy name for it. But basically, it's a superwash wool, so it means you can wash it in the washing machine, you can wash your finished garments in the washing machine on a wool cycle with no adverse effects. It's been specially treated to enable you to do that, but it still maintains its beautiful softness.
Now, Marie, I've got another question for you, and please forgive my naivety and maybe forgive my stupid questions, but then again, no question's ever stupid unless it comes from me. You're knitting a sock. I'm thinking people have different size feet. So does that relate to the different size needles, or is that just down to the actual knit itself and you can make any size sock?
Sure, yes, obviously this is the Sock Wonder we're selling today in 3 different sizes, basically. And so, you know, you should always, anyway, when you're knitting, do a tension swatch to work out what size needle you use. But you can, if you're slightly tighter knitter, you might want to go up a knitting needle size, or if you're a looser knitter, you might want to go down a size. And obviously for your cuff here as well.
So does that mean the larger the needle, the tighter the knit?
The larger the needle, I don't think of it logically like that. Let me see, how does that work? So, yeah, if you're a tighter knitter, you'd probably want to go for the larger size needle.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, and also you might want to use a smaller needle when you're doing your ribbed edging here.
Yeah.
So, and you can use these for any socks. Basically, I'm just using what we call a plain vanilla sock here. and I'm doing a cuff down, so you start at the top of the sock and work down and shape the heel and then go through to the toe. But you can also use them for toe-up socks, whichever you prefer. And obviously, as I say, I'm just using a plain stocking stitch or a stockinette stitch here. But, you know, you can do whatever pattern you like. We've got some textured patterns here on this one, which I'll demonstrate later when I show you the Addi Crazy Trio.
What's a toe-up sock?
A toe-up sock is basically where you start with the toe.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's where the Addi Crazy Trio in particular come in really handy, because you're casting your stitches on over 2 needles and you work the toe up from here. So yeah, everyone tends to have a preference. I love cuff down. Some people much prefer the toe up, but you can use them. These needles are perfect for either, so yeah.
And I think the needles themselves as well, to take them with you. You know, you think about knitting needles, and I'm not saying they're big and they're clunky or anything like that, because I don't want to offend any knitters out there. But when you think about travelling, when you think about your journey, if you're going into work or maybe going on a journey, sitting on a bus safely, of course, this gives you the opportunity to have these in your bag, in your purse, in your pocket. And you can start knitting instantly. You don't need to take a larger bag with you. It's a great craft to get into, and this could be the perfect place for you to start today. So this is your sock wonder. You've got the 25cm circular knitting needle. This is the set that includes the 2mm, the 2.5mm and the 3mm. Nearly a quarter of the stock has gone already. If not anything else, they are a beautiful design, and you'll see here that one side is larger than the other. So I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marie, but if you're right-handed, you'd have the larger needle in your right hand?
Yeah.
If you're left-handed, you would have the larger needle in your left hand. So lead with the larger needle when you get your set. But you get your 3 different sizes there. So perfect for knitting socks, but also baby clothes, sleeves and cuffs, for example, or maybe like a tubular scarf. If you wanted to, which would be lovely.
Anything tube shaped. I mean, I actually use them quite a lot for mittens. So I love the sort of the Norwegian style Selbu mittens, and they're perfect for those.
They certainly would. Or what about some nice knitted, not just socks, but house socks instead of slippers? If you put something on the bottom of the sock, of course, you don't want to be slipping everywhere. Or some people wear socks to bed. Due to that, you know, my circulation is terrible. I'm not saying that's a cure or anything like that, but sometimes I do go to bed with my socks on because my feet are so cold if I don't have a hot water bottle or Millie at the bottom of the bed, which is my Jack Russell, by the way, Marie. So it keeps you nice and warm. It could be a hat that you're knitting as well, which would be absolutely perfect. It's a great price as well, £16.99. Right, if you want just the 2.5mm size, we have that available for you, and it comes with a choice of yarn. So do you know what? This is an excellent gift to give yourself. It's an excellent gift to give somebody. And remember, you can watch these shows again on Rewind, so you can watch the great demonstrations from Marie and also that information as well. They'll be available for 60 days. So if you want to go for your needle, you've got a choice of yarn. Remember, this is all hand dyed by those ladies in the cooperative in Uruguay. So you are helping to empower women in their trade. Your first one is your Fondo del Mar, which is all about the sea. Beautiful colours there. Let's just turn this around. You can see the blues. You can see, if you excuse the pun, you can see the greens in there as well as the white. That is beautiful, gorgeous colour. And to show you what a sock would look like if you knit it in that, look at that. Look very cosy indeed. Next up, this is the one that Marie was demonstrating with. This is your Happy. A quarter of the stock of Happy is gone. I think that will make you happy because it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a lovely bright colour. Also fantastic for babies' clothes, definitely. It might bring thoughts of a unicorn, maybe, with all of those different colours in there, colours of the rainbow. Very on trend at the moment. Maybe a gift for somebody with those colours of the rainbow. And then the final one is your blueberry. Beautiful. So you get to choose which of the yarns you go for, and you get 100 grams and you get the needle as well, all for £23.75. Superb value for money. Now we've got some more colours proven to be very popular. You've already found these. Now, which is my favourite. Right, the first one, I'm going to try this again, Marie. We've got Marie on standby, so we're all good. Right, the first one, Warachi. Warachi. Of course it is Warachi. Warachi. Very busy for this one. Nearly 40% of the stock gone. Doesn't surprise me. Love the colours in here. They're beautiful, aren't they? With the oranges and the
beautiful.
greens. Superb.
Yeah.
Next up, you've got your manglar.
Manglar. Yeah. Yes, absolutely right.
Oh, you got it right.
Sorry.
Fantastic. Thank you, Marie. And those beautiful colours in there as well. And then your final one, Aguayo?
Yeah.
Aguayo. Oh, brilliant. Oh, this is excellent. And that is a lovely, lovely creamy white with the gorgeous pinks in there and your greens as well. Love those. You choose, you decide, £17.49. What a lovely gift to give somebody. What a story it's going to tell as well. With the fact that it's hand-dyed by those ladies in Uruguay, giving them a chance to work within their cooperative rather than going into the cities. It's fantastic. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's all about helping one another. Wherever you are in the world, it's about helping one another. Right. We've got bamboo double-pointed needles for you. Marie, is there an advantage of having a bamboo knitting needle, or is it like a trend?
It could be a trend because obviously they're sustainable, so people are a lot more conscious nowadays about renewable materials.
Yeah.
So that's one advantage, but obviously I think these are ideal for somebody who's fairly new to knitting,
right,
or somebody who's quite a loose knitter, because they tend to grip your stitches better, so you're less likely to lose or drop a stitch.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, so they're nowhere near as slippy as your regular aluminium needles.
Yeah.
So it's just down to personal preference, really. You know, try both. I can knit with either. I find I'm maybe a bit faster on an aluminium needle, but on the bamboo, I'm a lot more accurate. And again, they produce the lovely, neat stitches.
And you see, we've got Marie here. I've always said it, take advantage of our guests, get your questions in. It's studio@hochanda.com. I hope I'm asking the right questions for you guys at home. £15.99, that's a great price. 082540. What a lovely gift for somebody, their very first set of knitting needles. We've also got this style in the aluminium as well. So it could be preference, like Marie said. It could be that you are an established knitter, but you just need some different needles. And maybe these could give you your faster stripes.
Sure.
So you could knit a lot quicker because you've got that slip on there just to quickly knit away. Now these are patented. So Marie, can we talk about that? What makes these so special?
Yeah, so basically this design was created by Addi. It's unique to them and it's not available anywhere else. And this is what Addi strives really hard to do. They put a great deal of work into their research and development to craft the perfect product so that it suits your needs as a crafter.
Yes.
You know, it's down to the quality of the materials. Each needle, I think, goes through about 25 steps of testing to get it to be perfect.
Yes.
So you can be sure, you know, when you're buying these, it's a quality needle. It will last and it will be just lovely and comfortable to knit with. And I think as you touched upon before, with these needles, they are also, what was I going to say?
Help you knit quicker?
You can knit quicker with them.
Yeah.
No, I know what it was.
Go on.
Apologies. They're ergonomic, which basically means they're designed for comfort. So, you know, I've got some relatives who are older now and they're getting a little bit of arthritis. My mother-in-law, she has carpal tunnel syndrome in her wrists. They're ideal for people who have some hand or wrist conditions and may have some discomfort when they're knitting. They're crafted particularly with you in mind. So they're just fabulous, I think. You know, they're so comfortable to knit with.
And you're right, they look lovely. To have these as a very first gift, beautiful. We're going to have a demonstration with these.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a demonstration with, we'll start with the aluminium.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to move that slightly out of the way.
By the way, Marie, you're doing incredibly well. This is Marie's very first time on television, everybody. I don't think a lot of people realise that at home, because this is your very first time on TV.
Yes,
I can't believe that.
It's my first time.
That is amazing.
I have to say I'm really enjoying it. Obviously,
Are you?
a little
Good.
bit nervous, but I think, you know,
You're doing fantastically,
we
Marie.
just love our crafting, don't we?
Yes.
So once we're talking about what we love doing, it does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah, yeah. So with these needles, first of all, I'm going to show. Can I just show you the needles first before I actually demo them? So, as I said before, you have 3 needles, and they're double-pointed needles. They're each round about 8 inches long, but where they're different to traditional double-pointed needles is that, as I said before, they're not fully rigid all the way, which means they bend and flex in your hands. So you can see there, as I move, it fits really comfortably in the palm of my hand as I'm knitting. And how they work is that you have your 2 needles to begin with. You cast on your stitches on 1 needle, and then you separate them across 2 needles like that. And then the 3rd needle is finishing with, so you knit all the stitches on this needle, turn them around, and you knit the remaining stitches on that row on that needle. So unlike where you've got the traditional double-pointed needles, some people will knit with 4 needles, 3 to split the stitches across and 1 to knit with. Others might even have the stitches split across 4 needles and knit with the 5th needle. But they're quite, it depends on what you're used to, but they can be quite cumbersome and uncomfortable. You can find they're sticking into you a little bit as you're knitting with, because they are rigid. And they're just a bit, I find I'm a lot slower when I'm using those. So these are a lot faster to knit with. And so this is actually a sock I've been knitting using the Fondo del Mar colour that we talked about before, which means ocean deep.
Oh.
So if you just look at those colours.
It looks like a deep ocean with all the greens and the blues.
The greens and the blues.
It's fascinating when you see the sock come from the yarn, how lovely that pattern is that's in there. That's a random pattern, of course.
So yeah, it almost causes a self-striping effect, but you can see you've got almost a diagonal that goes across there as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there. So yeah, it's lovely. And they're just so simple to knit with. Again, as I showed you before with the sock wonder, even though you're joining stitches across, in this case across 2 needles at 2 points, there and there, you don't have the ladders that you can sometimes get with your double-pointed needles.
Oh, right.
It's just seamless. So again, you know, your finished garment is just really good. And how they work is basically, well, they work how you want them to work for you, basically. So everyone will hold them in different ways. But I don't know exactly how I do it. I just knit, and as you can see, it's just there, comfortable in my hand. I'm knitting with this needle here and holding the other 2 in my left palm.
And with the set of needles, you do get an instruction booklet. So yes, you can watch Marie again.
You do indeed.
With the needles themselves, you get the instruction booklet. You've got your pictures on there, which are great. And then you've got the text underneath, just taking you through step by step how to use them. So you've always got this as a reference. And then you can watch this show again for 60 days on Rewind, which is perfect. And you've got a little chart in the back as well. Nice one.
Right, yeah, so that's pretty much how these ones work. Do you want me to demo the rest of the row, or?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's fascinating to watch, because if you've never knitted before, this is what's going to tempt you into buying these knitting needles as your first set of needles. Or maybe you've been knitting with the traditional style and you've been listening to Marie and you've been watching the demonstrations and you're thinking to yourself, do you know what? I'm going to get myself these, because as Marie says, it doesn't stick into you like the larger knitting needles, you know, whether you've got wood or whether you've got the plastic ones. These are going to give you that expediency to start knitting.
Yeah, so you might have noticed there that I actually had to take back a couple of stitches, obviously nervous, first time on the show, sorry everyone. So I was actually knitting the wrong way around on the wrong side. So I'm going to start again.
That's all right.
But there we go, so literally just knitting. I'm not quite as fast on these ones, purely because I'm a bit more used to knitting my socks on circular needles.
Yeah.
I love my socks, I've knitted hundreds of pairs.
Have
I've got
you?
drawers full of socks. I actually love, I love walking. So they're brilliant, even if you like walking in the mountains with your walking boots.
Yeah.
They're really tough because you've got the nylon in there, but they're also so soft and warm with the wool.
And what's nice, you can make them as high up your leg as you like because you're making them and you're knitting them.
That's right. Yeah, and they will, they'll keep you warm. But if they get wet, that's what's great about wool, isn't it? If it gets wet, you don't feel that wetness next to your skin.
Oh, some knee-high socks. Keep you nice and warm in the winter.
Yeah,
That'd be lovely.
And you can do it. You can do all sorts of patterns. You can do your cables. You can do your Fair Isle, your Norwegian style, your lacy patterns.
Our director would like a onesie if you could knock one of those up in the latter part of the show.
Bear with me, as you can see, I'm a little slower on these. But I'm
so if you're
halfway through the row,
knitting away like you are now, Marie, and maybe somebody comes to the door, or you need to go and answer the phone, or you need to go and get yourself a cup of tea, bit of chocolate cake, and you put your knitting needles down. You said there's no need for a knitting marker.
No. So I'll probably be able to show you easier once I've reached the end of the row. But, well, hang on, just bear with me a second. So obviously, you've got where you started your knitting here, where you cast on. So you know that's the start of your row here, the end of this needle. And then because you've got the stitches split across the two sides of the needles, it's really easy to separate them out. So the other great beauty of them is if you're dividing your stitches up for the heel part of the sock, you're obviously only working on half the stitches at that point where you're doing the heel flap and the heel turn. So it's great, that other needle just sits quietly behind your work, and then you carry on knitting with your active needle to shape that heel. So it's just so comfortable, it really is. And like you say, they're so flexible and tiny. You can fit them in your little project bag, in your handbag. They're light and portable. You can knit anywhere. You can knit on the train when you go into work, or you can knit in the garden. I love knitting in the garden. You can take them to your friend's house, take them to the pub.
I think we're going to have a beautiful week next week, I think we're going to have a glorious week of sunshine. So knitting in the garden.
Can't beat it.
Stock up for when the weather turns.
Exactly, and the joy about knitting socks, unlike when you're knitting a heavy garment, the wool can get very hot and heavy. Knitting socks it's lightweight, it's cool, it's portable. So you see I've just changed there from one row to the other.
Perfect.
So just do a few more stitches and then I can show you how seamless it is. Now some people might want to pull that first stitch a little bit tighter there, but that depends, you shouldn't need to. As I say, I've not got any ladders here, and I'm not pulling my stitches particularly tightly there. So that's how the Addi Crazy Trio works. It's actually an award winner as well, so we're so delighted. Yeah, we've won an award in Germany for these, and an award in Britain as well. In the UK British Craft Awards, I think it won.
Wow,
a year or so ago. So
and it's not easy to get a patent on items either, so that is fabulous.
Yeah. And we find these are really popular, and not just for socks. I've got a colleague in the office who is an absolute whiz on using these in a larger size for her sleeves when she's knitting her jumpers. And again, you can see they're just so comfortable, just bending as I go.
I can imagine your office. What a lovely place to be. Going into work in the morning and everyone just sitting there knitting. Because they can. Office. It's part of their job, which is fabulous.
Surrounded by gorgeous needles and absolutely beautiful hand-dyed yarn. It's just so soft. Yeah, it is. It's wonderful.
Right, we'll leave Marie just knitting away there for the moment. Thank you for that. And we'll have a review of all the items on the counter because we are getting busy, everyone. And I don't want anyone to miss out. If you have just joined us, welcome to the show. Brand new supplier, brand new guest who's doing amazingly. First time on television. So I'm sure you'll join me in welcoming not just Addi, but Marie to the Hochanda family. And if you do want to send your emails in, please do. Marie would love to hear from you. If you're knitting anything at the moment, you want to show Marie your project you're working on, please send that in as well. It's studio@hochanda.com. Right, we've just been using the knitting needles, the crazy trio just here. £13.99, and they are a 2.5 in size, 2.5 mil. You get a little instruction booklet as well on how to use them, and these are the patented needles. 752097. What a fantastic price. So you can knit in the round with less needles. It does make it a lot easier to knit with and a lot quicker as well. Either like you go faster stripes for knitting. Those are the aluminium, I can't speak. Those are your aluminium or your aluminum. And then we've got the bamboo. Your bamboos a slightly different size. They're 24 centimetres and the other ones are 21, but these prove to be very popular. Maybe it's just a trend. You've got the bamboo on there as well, so when you're knitting it doesn't slip down so easy. So these could be a great set of needles for a beginner, and they're bamboo. It's just a trend, isn't it? And they look fabulous. £15.99, 082540. Apparently pandas like knitting with these as well. Oh, that'd be lovely, a panda knitting itself a jumper. It'd be very warm, wouldn't it, in the winter? Bless them. 082540. Now, the sock wonder, my word. We've got a set of 3. Very, very busy for these. Oh my word, nearly 60% of the stock has gone. Let me introduce you to these if you've just seen them for the first time. £16.99. You've got your 2 mil, your 2.5 mil and your 3 mil. When we pick these up, you've got one side which is a larger size and you've got your smaller needles. So if you're right-handed, get the larger needle in your right hand. If you're left-handed, there you go. And if you're ambidextrous, then that's fine. You can use them in either hand. So you've got your 3 different sizes, 310842 is your item number, £16.99 for knitting your socks. Now, if you are buying this as an absolute beginner and you want to knit some socks, and like having a Christmas present, you want the batteries as well. You don't need batteries for these, but how about getting some yarn so you can start producing your sock instantly. So get your knitting needle, then get your yarn for £23.75 and then produce some fantastic socks. You've got a choice of yarn, everyone. You've got a choice of yarn. Your Fondo Del Mar is nearly a third of the stock gone. That is a beautiful colour. So that's your fondle. Well, it could be. You might like to fondle your feet in your socks. I don't know. That's entirely your thing. Right, moving on. Your next option is Happy. And then after that, you've got your Blueberry, which is lovely. And now we get on to the pronunciations again. And this is where I look over at Marie and I'll try and get this right. So the first one is your Urachi?
Nearly.
Warachi. That's your Warachi. That is gorgeous. Next up, Manglar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Manglar.
Yeah, Manglar. I feel like I'm going to get a badge from my teacher after this. And then you've got Aguayo. Yes, Aguayo. Perfect. So those 3 for you, £17.49. 575161. We've been very busy for Horacho, the first one. Over 40% of the stock has gone of that. I love that. I love those oranges and the greens and the blues. They look perfect together. As do all of them, actually. It's going to be your choice. But you get your choice to pick if you want to go for one of those, or you could go for the needle and the yarn, which was the previous item at the bottom of your screen. Now, if you are a Freedom member, you won't be paying any P&P. And to tell you more, here's our lovely Alex. Hello, everyone.
Hello everyone. I've got a minute or two to tell you why you should all be members of Hochanda Freedom. Did you know that with Hochanda Freedom you could be saving on your deliveries every month? For just a £6.97 monthly fee, you will benefit from unlimited standard delivery, which means the more you spend with us, the more you save. And you know the best bit? You can cancel any time. Becoming a member of Hochanda Freedom, you will also be able to take advantage of our exclusive Freedom member discounts, where you can save anything up to 20% on an already fantastic Hochanda price. Freedom members will also receive our exclusive members badge and Freedom newsletter, which will keep you updated with all the goings-on behind the scenes. Just look at all these benefits for £6.97 per month. Over 10,000 of you are already members, and we thank you so much for being a part of our family and sharing your crafting passion with us. In fact, I'm now going to hand over to you to tell everyone else about your experience with Hochanda Freedom.
It's lovely because you have the special offers, don't you, that give you a nice discount off, sometimes up to 20%.
I don't have to worry about the postage. I can spend a £5 on something that I've seen as and when I've seen it, or I can spend 20 or 30 or 50 pounds, it doesn't matter.
I get special offers, I get special discounts, they tell me when everything's happening, so if there's a special show I want to watch, then it's there.
Yes, you do save. If you buy like I do, you save.
You see? You could be a member instantly for £6.97 per month with no ongoing monthly obligation. So when you want to cancel, you can. Just give us a call or go to our website quoting the item number 88888. So don't forget, you get your unlimited standard delivery, exclusive Freedom discounts, members badge and a members newsletter. What are you waiting for? Join Hochanda Freedom today and become a member of the growing Hochanda family.
Oh, there's a lovely Alex. Right, if you want to become a Freedom member, follow Alex's path. Right, I don't know why I said that. I meant follow Alex's advice. I've never said follow her path. Never. Right, now, if you've never knitted before but you'd like to knit, maybe your knitting needles are retired in a drawer because you've got dexterity problems or you just can't knit for any reason, this could be the answer to start knitting once again. This is your knitting machine. This is your Addi Express knitting machine with turbo knitting book, and your book has a whole variety of projects and hints and tips for you. It's very competitively priced as well. You've got the book included, which has 16 patterns included and detailed instructions as well. 848170 is your item number. And it's available on FlexiBuy, 3 payments of £28.66. So if you want to make jumpers, cardigans, scarves, cushion covers, you've got some brilliant patterns and details in here, and a beautiful way to start knitting, or maybe reintroduce yourself to knitting as well. And you're a big fan of this, aren't you, Maureen? You love the book.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. There's just so much fun using this, and it's so quick. You know, you can have a garment finished within a weekend.
Wow.
Start off small and work your way up, and you soon become really proficient with it. It's so easy to use.
Shall we have a look at it?
Yeah,
Let's
of course.
look at the machine with Marie and let's see how we can get started with it. And then, of course, you lovely people at home will be able to pop this into your basket and do check it out. We've already had interest in this, so it could be an idea just to make sure you get yours and check out your basket. And you can clamp it, as Marie has done, to the demonstration area.
So we've got, basically, it comes, as you'll see, it's really lightweight. It comes with 4 removable legs here, and they just screw in to the base or the overall machine. And then you have the clamps here, which again just screw on under your tabletop, and it just keeps the machine firmly in place. So it's just a lot easier to knit with it when you've got it clamped ready. You don't have to use the clamp, but personally I prefer to.
Yes.
And so with the machine you can make tubes, so you can knit in the round basically, so you produce tubes, a bit like this one here, which is just a very simple tube I've done here. Nothing. really, and you can just make all sorts of things out of tubes.
Maybe like an ankle warmer or warming for the wrist.
This is like a wrist warmer,
Yeah.
basically. So just perfect in the winter. You know, keep your arms and your wrists warm under your clothes. So there we go. Just a nice simple thing there, but also, you know, you can graduate to, like, we've got a child's scarf demonstrated here on the set. Just a long tube with a nice sparkle yarn. I've just added a pom-pom at either end. Yeah, and I think that's quite pretty.
That is gorgeous.
I think that took me about 15 or 20 minutes to
No.
do that.
No
and then
way.
the pom-pom's a little bit longer, obviously, at the end, but yeah.
Wow,
So no
I thought you
time
were going to say
at all.
20 hours, 20
No,
minutes.
it's so pretty. I mean, I'll show you, obviously, in a minute.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, what I haven't said is you can knit in all different weights of yarn. I would recommend starting with the chunky yarn. So this is what I'm going to demonstrate with you today. Just as you get used to the tension of the machine and so on, and you get this lovely, nice, thick, cosy, finished garment with a chunky yarn or an Aran weight yarn. I have also created a cowl, which is in the book here. So it's a plaited cowl, and I've used for that a metallic, traditionally a crochet yarn actually, and you literally just you produce 3 tubes, 1 each in a different colour, whichever colours you'd like to use, and simply plait them together when you've finished and sew them together at the top to secure them. And it's just quite a nice dressy garment for in the evening, isn't it?
Can I say that the yarn that we've got for everyone on the show is not compatible really with the machine?
Well, you can use any yarn, but I wouldn't recommend using the Manos Del Uruguay Alegria to begin with. Oh, by the way, what I didn't tell you is that Alegria means joy, which I just think sums it up perfectly because the colours are just so joyous.
Is it Spanish for joy?
It's Spanish for joy, yeah. But no, I probably wouldn't recommend using the Manos yarn to begin with the Addi Express knitting machine, just because you might find the tension is quite tight and your crank won't turn quite so smoothly. So I'm going to demonstrate it with this.
Let's get cranky.
Sure, okay, okay. That's fine. So basically, my yarn's down here in a box, by the way, on the floor. It's quite a good idea to have your yarn secured in like a yarn bowl or a box, something that will keep it, the end of your yarn secure. And then you just have your end of the wool. You need enough to reach the table that you're working on. And then to cast on, you basically have 3 black needles here at the start of your row. So you have to go under the first black one and then behind the second and alternate like that. This is how you cast on, basically. So you might want to hold this loose end in your hand as you do it. Don't go too fast at this point because you can miss a stitch and then obviously you're going to get a gap in your knitting, so you don't want that. So just in front and then behind, in front, behind. Keep going round through all the white needles and eventually you'll come back to the start of your row.
It looks very satisfying. The machine itself is very smooth.
It's so relaxing, you know. So yeah, you come back to your black one here, your first point. At this point you need to secure your wool or your wool in this yarn holder here, and then make sure that you've pushed this bit across here to secure it in place. Okay, and you also have, maybe can't see it there, but you might be able to show it. You've got a row counter here. So at this point, once you've cast on, you might just want to move that round to 4 zeros so you can count your rows as you go. Because quite a few of the patterns in the book will actually say to do X number of rows, and then you'll be putting a number of flat panels together if you're knitting flat panels, all of the same length maybe. So the row counter is really handy for that, or just to know how long you want your scarf to be or whatever else you're knitting. And that's it basically. Wow. You've got your little switch here on the side, sorry I did forget to say, and that alternates between whether you want to knit in the round, which is what we're doing now, so you have it on circular, but if you wanted to knit flat pieces, which I'm not demonstrating today, you would flick that switch upwards. So obviously make sure your switch is on circular and you literally just turn your crank and keep going. Now the first row is often a little bit tight, but then you'll soon start speeding up.
Do you know what I like about the handle that you're turning? Sometimes with dexterity problems, with this handle, I've just got my palm flat and I'm turning it. I don't have to grip it. And I think that is really, really handy. So on the handle itself, you can hold it. Marie was holding it like that. You just put your palm against it, it still turns. So you don't have to have that gripability. Just pop your hand against it and that will turn. And it feels so smooth as well. That's the quality of the German engineering for you.
That's right, yeah, it is. It's so smooth and comfortable to knit with. You know, it's a little bit of exercise for your wrist, actually, while you're doing it. But
I wonder if you'll have like a knitting muscle arm. So one of your arms is like a big Popeye arm. So maybe change your arm so that you become even.
That's right. But you can use any type of yarn, any colours. I've got, well, you maybe can't see it too well just yet, but as the piece starts to grow, this has just got a little silver sparkle in, like the scarf that we showed you earlier, and it's quite pretty, really. But you can use a mixture of colours. You can do stripes. You can use a tweed effect, like this one almost. I don't know if you can see that now.
Yeah, and that's got 22 needles doing 22...
Yeah, so it's 22 needles when you're knitting in the round.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look how easy that is. So you've got the grandkids coming around. Oh, you've forgotten to get a birthday present for them. That's okay. Get your machine out, get your Popeye arm and off you go. You start knitting something brand new for them. Or maybe the weather takes a turn, which it does, it always does. You wake up one morning, it's sunny. Then midday, it gets cold, 20 minutes, you got yourself a wrist warmer. Half an hour, you got yourself a sock or something like that.
Fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah, and you can do all sorts with well, you'll find out when you get the pattern book that comes with it. You can make all sorts of things. So you know, if you do other crafts with the flat panels, you might want to crochet decorative edgings or crochet a fringe on a scarf. You can do that, and you can obviously mattress stitch two flat pieces together. With the flat pieces, you can arrange them vertically.
Look at that. Now, 3 payments of £28.66. We'll spread the cost over 3 months, interest-free payment for you. Your first payment today, £28.66. Get this home, get your yarn out, start knitting. Oh my word, that's amazing.
I'll just stop a second. I can probably show you if I very carefully lift this up here. So already we've got that length.
That's incredible.
Just in the few minutes that we've been demoing here. That's obviously, you're seeing the wrong side there, actually. I don't know if I can show you
I just think that could be a sleeve to a little baby's cardigan.
Yeah, so it's quite pretty, isn't it, with a little sparkle in there.
Oh, grandmas, granddads, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, mums, dad, even your Jack Russell dog. Get them working on this. And you can see how quickly this is coming together. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes, half an hour. Sit and have a cup of tea, watch the television, listen to an audio book, watch Hochanda, and you're producing, you're making. I'm mesmerised by this, absolutely mesmerised.
It's actually really relaxing as well.
It is.
You know,
and the machine itself, that yes, there are others on the market, but this is quality, it's smooth. You can see that it's got those extra features on there. It also comes with the book as well. So you've got instant ideas, instant projects. You've got the information in that book for you. 3 payments of £28.66. So the book, the machine, you get the clamps as well. Fancy knitting a brand new jumper? We've got those styles in there for you. We've also got all of the information. I mean, that is a beautiful jumper. You'll be able to make that. We've got knitted cardigans, knitted skirts. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I really like that. There's your knitted skirt, keep you nice and warm. Beautiful book, great ideas, 16 projects to get you going, and that's included. And Marie's still going, and we're still knitting, and it's coming out the bottom. So
it's getting quite long now.
It's coming out the bottom now. So you can see, I don't know if we can get a shot of that, but it's all coming out the bottom. Just there you go, twisting and turning. I can't believe we've only been on that a few minutes. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Marie, we're coming up to the end of the show. I want to say a huge thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
How do you feel after your first hour?
Yes, I have really enjoyed it. You know, it's been, yeah, a little bit nervous, you might have noticed, but
not at all.
Just so, I mean, these products are just so nice to demonstrate,
yeah,
you know, and this yarn. We didn't talk a great deal about how the hand dyeing process works, actually. There's so much more to tell you about that.
Well, hopefully that'll be next time, because we're on the final seconds of the show. I can't believe it's gone so quickly. And that's all down to our fabulous guests. So thank you, Marie, and hopefully we'll see you again very, very soon.
Oh, yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Word. No, thank you. Thank you for showing us. Please do check out your baskets. Go for this. It could be the best purchase you've made so far. Fantastic.